Alright boys, let's do this. First thing first, the name, L-U-I, okay? Secondly, the game, it is the very game of bodybuilding. Thirdly, 1 month off Mr. Olympia. We still have no updates. The gurus usually start to post those teaser pictures usually around 3 weeks out. So soon enough we will see, Henny Rambod, George Farah and Dennis James starting to leak some pictures of their proteges. Till then, let's speculate, let's geek out about some of the top guys. Today we're gonna talk about a dude that I never spoke about. The name is Big Bad Wolf. That's my sync right there. Big Bad Wolf, obviously in this picture right here, is this guy. I mean, the back lat spread is absolutely impressive. He is next to Branch Warren and Evan Santopani, right? Usually he places higher than these two guys, right? I mean, these two guys, somehow they're not known to have crazy back development. When it comes to the details, Branch Warren has never been a sight to be seen, especially not from the back. Now, however, even though he is better than these two guys, his back is still one of his weakness. Let me proceed to tell you why. Now, this is him next to the newcomer, Big Ramy. Both are off-season, granted, but needless to say, he cannot box versus Big Ramy when it comes to the mass. Even though he is a freak of a man. But next to Big Ramy, nobody can be a freak, right? This is one of his best poses. You can almost call it a signature pose. He smokes pretty much everybody. He was doing it next to Ronnie Coleman, and he was still smoking him, right? Namely, the crab most muscular pose. Front lat spread. It is a sight to be seen. It is okay. It is good. It is up there. Don't get me wrong. We're not talking about Dorian type of front lat spread, but it is nonetheless very respectable. However, you will notice it is quite high, to say the least, and you will notice the left calf is just not there. It is absent. It is, as per se, non-existent. Is that right? Continue. Now, I told you the back is somehow of a weakness. This picture displays rather clearly what I was talking about. His lats are high. The lower part, the downstairs section of his back is rather inexistent. It is shallow, to say the least, right? So this is what you will notice, right? You will also notice the sweep of his triceps is not optimal, to say not flat. Same goes with the peak of the biceps. Those are unfortunately genetic features, as is the attachment of the lats. Nothing he can do about it. However, this will rather ding him versus the top guys. Back in the day when he was young, he had some belly prominence issues, if we can call them so. However, they have been fixed lately. During the last 3 years, his midsection was rather controlled. Now let's take a look at the back again. Again, both are off-season. Of course, this is the Big Bad Wolf next to Big Ramy. Look at the sheer size of the meat. Pretty much everywhere, but especially in the lower portion. I mean, Big Ramy literally has a second butt up here, whereas Big Bad Wolf is pretty much shallow. Nothing he can do about it. The lats attach higher. I mean, the back in the lower section is rather shallower. This he cannot fix. Same goes with the left calf, as I mentioned. It is somehow suspect. Definitely slower, lower and smaller than the right one. Again, this is next to Mr. Olympia of last year. You can clearly see the very difference in the lower back. I mean, there is no comparison. He cannot have those details. It just goes inside. It is shallow. I don't ding him for the glutes, even though the ex-Mr. Olympia of last year is superior, but I think he did not contract them in this sense, because usually he comes in condition, and conditioning of Big Bad Wolf is one of his strengths lately, especially last year. He was absolutely diced to the socks. Again, the most muscular pose, which is his signature pose, he gets it so good. As I said, back in the day, he had some gut issues, even though a lot of guys, when they turn, they let it free. But take my word for it, it is fixed nowadays. During the last 2 or 3 years, I did not see it coming. It is absolutely fixed. This is an old picture. when he was young, you can see clearly that the sweep in the triceps and the peak of the biceps are not optimal. The separation is just not there. This will ding him versus guys like Kai Green and the ex-Mr. Olympia of last year, and even Big Ramy has it more than him. His main foe, though, is another dude. I will talk about him in a few. Now, you will tell me, bro, look, I mean, the peak looks amazing and the sweep is absolutely stupendous. Look at the lats. This is photoshopped, guys. Pictures like these are for magazine, and yes, they can be enhanced. Clearly, this is not a real picture. Okay, look at him here. Again, the lats definitely look high, and the right calf is definitely suspect. This is a genuine picture. You can see it. It is not enhanced this time around. This is the real front double biceps, and the sweep does not look that impressive. This is his main foe I was referring to, namely Mr. Sean Flexotron Rodden. These guys usually switch places if all goes well. If all comes in line, these guys switch places number 3 and 4 in Mr. Olympia during the last few years or so, right? Usually when Big Bad Wolf comes in condition, he wins, except last year. Obviously, this is the problem of Sean Rodden. Sean Rodden has better lines. Some people call him like a big flex wheeler with wheels, which is absolutely true. He's not getting any younger, but the bellies, the proportions are somehow more appealing. Genetically, he is more gifted pretty much everywhere. All right, let's proceed. Again, this is the picture I told you about. It is clearly enhanced. If you know a thing or two, this is not a genuine front double biceps. If he was like this, he will win Mr. Olympia, obviously, right? This is the difference. Look, there we go. Clear night and day. Again, a genuine picture. So this guy is dialing up lately very, very well. Can he win Mr. Olympia? In all honesty, in my opinion, he just cannot. Unless Kai Green and the ex-Mr. Olympia of last year mess up, which will not happen, obviously. If the guys basically are out of the picture, he can slip in, right? Because this guy won the Honor Classic, so he's definitely top 3, top 4 in the world. But even when he dials in like last year, which he did perfectly. Last year, he was the most conditioned dude ever in that lineup. I mean, he blew up everybody when it comes to conditioning, but it was not enough. Can you fix the sweep and the peaks in 1 year? No. Even in a lifetime, you cannot fix them. Those are genetic feats and features that come with the territory. Here you can see him compared to a lower classing dude. You guys probably don't even know this guy. He's a Greek guy called Kafel Nikos. But even this guy, when it comes to the back development, clearly, again, you can see that the lower portion, the Christmas tree, is there, whereas Mr. Big Bad Wolf, it is inexistent. Everything else is okay. I mean, if Big Ramy brings in a condition like this, remotely looking like this, he will kill everybody. But unfortunately, he's doing his max with what he got as a genetic, right? That's what's up. Again, unfortunately, this displays his weakness. Everything else is just perfect. The glutes are there. I mean, the shoulders are massive. But, you know, these two things, the sweep, the separation of the arm, and the lower back will always, unfortunately, ding him. This is him versus the two top guys, namely Kai Green and Mr. Olympia of last year in a last bet. Even though he's probably larger than both of them, well, obviously comparable to Kai Green, and definitely larger and wider than last year Mr. Olympia. However, these two guys have more meat. The chunk, the sheer size of their muscularity down there is absolutely superior to his. There's nothing he can do about it. He got this right. This is his best pose, as mentioned before. And that's what's up. The conditioning is his strength. He usually comes in dry as hell. No water retention. Definitely sub 2% body fat. Hard as they get. I mean, it has that rocky, that solid granity look. But that's the maximum he can get, right? Salute him. Oh boy, this is Mr. Olympia. Not the same thing. But this guy is a sight to be seen. He's doing his homework. But I do not see him, unfortunately, reaching the first place in Mr. Olympia unless these two guys mess up, which most likely won't happen. These two guys will be 1 and 2 this year if all goes well, as usual, right? That's what's up. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and tell me what you guys think about it.